Hey everyone, I'm Ryan, you're watching 60 Cycle Hum, and in this video, I'm going to show you a multi-effect unit that has a radically unique feature, a feature that is completely unheard of in the multi-effect game. Of course, I'm talking about the Flamma FX-200, and that unique feature is that it's pink! Look at this thing, it's a pink multi-effect. If you've been waiting, if you've been searching high and low for a multi-effect unit that is pink, the wait is over. Here it is, guys. But all silliness aside, Flamma had a multi-effects unit called the FX-100, and this just visually is a gigantic step up from that. And other than just the visual upgrade, it's got a touchscreen. I'm sure it's got a bunch of other sounds. I never got to mess around with the FX-100, but I'm assuming there's a lot more going on with this. But yeah, just the looks of it. Big upgrade compared to the FX-100. Let's take a look at the back panel, and then we'll look at the front, and then plug in and start playing and making some noises with it. So you've got an auxiliary input, you've got a second expression control input right there, you have the guitar's input, might as well start plugging stuff in. There is an effects loop if you want to put some other effect into your signal path, like some fancy fuzz, or a great big supercomputer delay or something like that, or maybe just an EQ pedal. I don't know, whatever you want to put, you can put right in there. Then you've got your stereo output jacks. I'm going to be recording direct to my field recorder in stereo. You've got the headphone jack, which I'll be using to monitor the sound. A ground lift switch. You've got XLR outputs for running it into a recording desk or into a PA, whatever you want to do. MIDI in and out. USB for updating firmware and, you know, managing your preset library and things like that. You've got the power jack, which is very important. And of course, the power switch. On the face of the FX-200, you have some very simple controls. You have a master volume, a value selector knob. There's also a press button that allows you to access various different functions and navigate the UI. This is a touchscreen, so you don't even really technically need this, but it is nice that it's there. You can select between different banks with these switches. Each bank has 2 different presets in it. You select them with this. You can access a tuner by holding these 2 down. You can also access a looper by holding these 2 down. And you can also turn effects that are within your presets on and off with the switch for that preset. You can see there is a modulation that is turning on and off with the use of that. If I go to this preset, I can turn a modulation on and off as well. You can get into the guts and the settings and select whatever effects and whatever you want to happen with the different foot switches. You can reassign everything really and reinvent it to be what you need it to be. So let's get into it. I'm ready to play. I'm going to start out with my Player Plus Strat because it's an excellent demo guitar. It's got a humbucker, it's got singles, it looks great, it feels great. I like playing it. And then later on, of course, I'm going to pull out a baritone. I've got my Gretsch Electromatic baritone here. It's a 30-inch scale baritone. It gets really low, and it's a lot of fun, and it's got a Bigsby on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of the stock presets and find a few that I think are notable, and then just start building some presets. Have some fun. Get experimental. Show off how the user interface works and everything like that. Okay, so this is the very first preset. It is an F Deluxe 65. Inside of this preset, you've got a compressor on the effects. You've got an amp, which is, I think, a Deluxe Reverb. Yep, a US 65 Deluxe Reverb. And the cab is the 65 Deluxe Reverb 1x12. And then you have a spring reverb. That was the bridge pickup. Here is the neck. Let's find another preset to mess around with. Twin 65. Finally, I made it through all the presets. I gave you a little taste test of a few notable ones there. Let's scroll all the way up to 60 so it'll match the name of the channel. I'm not vain, I just think it's fun, all right? And let's just start building a patch and exploring how you do that. So we'll start with the amp, obviously. Cali, Texas Clean sounds pretty decent. Let's choose the cab. This combo 2x12 setting sounds decent. There's all sorts of other settings here. You can change the tube in the amp. We'll leave it there. There's space that you can turn up. I'm gonna leave that turned down. High cut, low cut, and so on. Let's choose like a fuzz or something. This is a smooth boost, clean boost, dark rat. Gold box, that's gonna be like a clone, right? Rioter. Of course, a Tube Screamer 808. Tube Overdrive. I like that one. Metal Zone, of course. Metal Master, Tight Gain, Tight Metal, Vox Silvery, Direct OD, OCD, UK Shredder, Full Distortion, Red 500, Jimmy, BB preamp. Here we go, fuzzes. That's what I wanted. Let's go back to that Tube Overdrive. I liked how bright and gritty that was. Pull down a little bit. Let's adjust some tone from the amp. Maybe bring the treble down a little bit and the mids up. Yeah, not bad. You can also select whatever parameter you want and then adjust it with this right here. You don't have to fudge with touchscreen if you got fat fingers like me. Sometimes I'm not terribly accurate with the touchscreen stuff. All right, what else? Let's throw a reverb in there. I'm sure you guys want my thoughts on that spring reverb. It has this like triggered sound effect of a drippy reverb, but it kind of has too much pre-delay, even with the pre-delay all the way off here. It's all the way off. It's more like a bouncy delay. Like, listen to this. Yeah, it's like a delay. They tried. It's an attempt. It's kind fun as its own thing if you think about it. If you don't try to think like, oh, here's like my dedicated, true to life, like totally accurate spring reverb emulation. It's like a reverb delay. It's like a drip delay where you're getting these bounces of a drip effect. If someone handed me a pedal and it said drip delay on it, you know I'd be excited about it. I kind of wish you could change the time of those little bouncy repeats though. Someone make that for me, a drip delay. But yeah, it's not really doing it for me as far as like a surf patch would need. But there are other reverbs here. Room and hall. Church. Plate. Cave. And modulation. Try maxing that out, see what happens. Turn that all down and move on to some other stuff. Delay, let's see what we've got in the delays bank here. We've got analog. You know what? We should turn off the reverb so that we can really hear it. Really long delay times here if you want them. 2 seconds, 2,000 milliseconds. What else do we have? A real delay? Not sure why it's called real, R-E-A-L, instead of R-E-E-L, but there is a tape echo as well. A digital. Ping pong. This should be fun. Let's get this up. Modulation delay. Reverse. Let's give this a chance to breathe here. Dynamic and dual delay that gives you all sorts of settings for 2 delays going at the same time. We'll leave it on digital for now and just turn it off and move on to the mod section. You got all your choruses here. Flanges, phasers, Step phaser is fun. Vibrato. Rotary. Oh, there's a fun stereo effect. Tremolo, of course. Stammer. Detune. A ring modulator for those telephone dial tones. Lo-fi. Slow gear. Band pass filter. Low cut, high cut, pitch monophonic, pitch polyphonic. And then that's it for the modulations. You got some EQ stuff here. I don't know. I'm not going to get into that now. You've got a noise reducer that you could put anywhere. Now, the fun thing about the signal chain is that you can change the position of anything. So if you want your noise reducer before your overdrive, we'll turn up the gain really high. You know what? Let's get that metal zone. It does its job. What else? What else is there? I do want to mention that this isn't a full-blown sandbox experience with the user interface here. You can't decide like, oh, I don't really want an overdrive. I want a second reverb to stack before the amp or something like that. You can't decide, oh, I don't really want to have like a modulation. I want that to be another delay. You can't do that. Everything is as you see it here as far as what's available to you. You can change the orders of everything. What did I do? Oh, I changed the preset. It's gone now. I didn't save it. What I'm saying though is that you can't get completely crazy in like a sandbox environment and have it just full of nothing but delays. First of all, it would probably max out the DSP if you were able to do that. But it's really more of like, here's what you have. You have amps and cabs, you have overdrive, you have an effects slot, you have a modulation slot, you have delay and reverb and an effects loop and a noise reducer and things like that. It's all kind of pre-laid out for you, so you really can't get yourself into too much trouble. But it's got some decent tones in there. I'm pretty happy with the way it sounds. It's pink, guys. What other multi-effect unit is pink? I can't think of any. Let's plug in the baritone and play out making some fun, heavy, heavy sounds. There we go. Oh, there we go. We're off to the races. That 6L6. This needs a fuzz. That's a bit much. Sounds like a robotic jungle cat. Oh, that's spicy. I like it. Probably show you guys the looper and the built-in drum. So there is a drum built in. Calculate on your loop. the idea, right? That's fun. This is the sort of thing, like anytime there's a product that gives you a bunch of different sounds and a built-in looper, I'm like, this is perfect for the new guitarist. I think these things are like $400 or something like that, $399. Last I checked on Amazon. It's the perfect sort of device for someone who's got their first guitar, but they don't know what to get as far as an amp, and they don't really want people to hear them, so they want to do like headphone practicing and things like that. This is a really, really great solution for that. Having a built-in looper, it's such an incredible learning tool for learning how to play solos, even learning how to build competent rhythm parts and whatnot. Like, I could only lay down that very simple one-note thing because this isn't on the floor, it's on the table, and I have to use my hands while I'm playing. But you can use your imagination and think of all sorts of really fun ways to use this. Let's show off some of the menus really quick, just so you can see where everything is on here. Here's like your input level, cab sync, global cab, foot switch modes and things like that. You've got this over here, which gives you all sorts of controls over your foot switches, calibration and different assignments for the expression pedal, and then your system settings, which has 7 pages of just ridiculous, silly fun. Get into all those system settings and just have a wacky time, right, guys? That's where the creativity happens. Consult the manual from the website. I'll have the link for the website down below if you want to get into the nitty-gritty and know very specific details. But other than that, what do you guys think? What do you think of this product? Did you like the sounds that I was stumbling across? Did you like the features of it? I'm honestly impressed with the user interface. I've messed around with some devices where it took me a while to figure out what the heck was going on. I was able to jump right into this. It was very intuitive. Once I got the manual, I went through it, I grazed through it, and I was like, oh, I kind of understood everything already. There's really nothing here that I missed. I just figured it out from the face of the product, which is the way like modern phones work, smartphones and stuff. You pick them up and you just know how to use them because the user interfaces are really smartly designed. So that's kind of my positive take on that. My big negative for this, maybe not big, is subjective. The fact that you can't get creative with like multiple delays or stacking overdrives and things like that is a little bit of a bummer. Like bigger name brand products from like Line 6 and stuff like that allow you to sandbox quite a bit more, but not really at this price point. Even like the Pod Go, you're stuck with this sort of layout where you can't really decide like, oh, I don't want this modulation to be here, I want it to be a delay now. It's the same sort of thing. You'd have to get into a much more expensive unit. Unless someone knows. If you want to recommend a different product that does that in the comment section, go for it. But yeah, I like to sandbox and get creative and weird and stuff like that. And you can do that, but it's a little bit limited here. You can always use the effects loop and throw your own pedals in there and get creative that way. But anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks to Flamma for sending this out to me. Please like, subscribe, dislike, leave me rude and nasty comments. Support us on Patreon. Buy a shirt. If you're naked, click all the links and stay grounded. Bye, everybody.